Wait a minute. Even judges are not getting caught in paternity fraud? Damn, no one is safe. Woo!
What are you doing, Stepbro?
See, paternity fraud has been something that's been going on since the dawn of history. I'm pretty sure you probably find a caveman somewhere with a kid, hugging up in his mother's arm, and then the caveman pointing out his spears, like, that's not my baby. And it just kept going on. That's the reason why shows like the Maury's popular. When he just came through, his piece of paper, the crowd's all riled up, and the baby mama talking about, you gotta take care of your kid, blah, blah, blah. And then the guy's like, damn, my baby. And then when the Maury be like, you
are not the father.
The crowd go wild, and she just running about off the stage. And then the guy just keep dancing, doing the somersault, be like, yeah, I told you that ain't my baby, and all that stuff. But, what happened now? When you have judges that used to spend their time sending these men into the sentence of paying child support, despite the fact that they would argue that baby ain't his, but the fact that their name's already in the birth certificate, they have no choice but to pay. What happened when they find themselves in similar situation? Enter this mofo right here. A judge that has been married for 51 years, only to find out something interesting about his family.
I have been married for 51 years. Got 2 sons, 42 and 40. Damn deadbeats. I'm still supporting the little boogers. Needed to take a test to see if any of us had a kidney good enough for my brother. Found out something interesting. They ain't my kids. They're somebody else's.
This is tough. The thing that sucks about this, right? It's not so much that, he found out the kids ain't his. That is granted, that is freaking terrible, right? There's no explaining how it actually hurt some men, especially those who pride themselves on being a family man, who pride themselves on being fathers. But the thing that sucks about it is the fact that you are now pushing 80.
Well, I guess that pretty well completes that story. I'll go home, start drafting up some divorce papers, see if I can't get free of that crazy bitch.
Pushing 80! And you're gonna get divorced now? No! What are you gonna do? You can't start over. You cannot start over. And the thing that sucks about it is the fact that women tend to be better at nurturing relationship than men, because sometimes, we're the breadwinner. We have to work. We have to do the type of things that we need to do in order for our family to thrive. So then we don't really have the same relationship with our kids the same way the mother would. And then now, which is therefore, when we get old, when we actually us and our old lady, we are in our nursing home and stuff like that. And from time to time, we will grab a nurse's asses, and then she'll look at you, slap you upside the head. But at least you have somebody, and then your kids will always come visit you, because by default, they have to come visit their mother. So then what happened? What happened now when your kids doesn't really have that same relationship? And trust me, I know, I love my dad. I think he's one of the best dad in the world. But the fact that in my relationship with my dad, he's a lot better than my mom. But guess what? I speak to my mom a lot more often than I speak to my dad. It's not out of spite or out of nothing. It's the fact that, for some reason, mothers, we feel like we are more obligated towards them more than we are towards our dads. And that sucks. Don't know why it's like that. It is what it is.
Of course, the only good thing is, I know it's not my fault that those 2 idiots got dumped into this world. Hell, I thought they took after their mother. Instead, they take after the plumber or the postman or the milkman, or, yeah, there were milkmen back when they came around. I mean, God only knows. It sure gets old. I do wish I knew who the real fathers were, and they ain't the same. She was bopping a couple of different guys. But if I could figure out who they were, I've been practicing law long enough that I pretty well figure I can sue their ass and get all my money back that I sunk into those two deadbeats.
Now imagine you are on probably 80 years old. How the hell you gonna be able to actually still have your family, to nurture that relationship that you're supposed to have with your family, to come see you in your old age? That's freaking terrible. That sucks. At least when you find out when you're still in your 30s or maybe 40s, you at least have the chance to start over. You at least have the chance to seek revenge, like my petty ass would. But what the hell can you do at 80 years old? You can't even get a new chick. You can't even, like, your woman's gonna be like, well, listen, I'm sorry that happened. Yeah, I screwed up, but what are you gonna do, Paul? Are you gonna walk away from this family, Paul? You don't even, you can't even, like, who's gonna remind you of your pacemaker, Paul? Who's gonna remind you to take your medicine, Paul? What you gonna do, Paul? And deep down, she's right. She still have the advantage.
It just chaps my ass that she couldn't tell me. I'd probably forgiven her. Maybe not. You know how it is.
But knowing me, I was still divorce a bitch. It wouldn't matter. I would sleep under a bridge. I would not care. I would still divorce the bitch. Listen, I would not care. I would be in the club chilling with these old geezers right here. Hell yeah, I would divorce the bitch. Because my ego, my pride would not allow me to let her get away with this. Even if it means at my own detriment, I would. Damn it. Oh, we're some stubborn bastard.
Hell, boys, y'all need to go get your own paternity test. You can't tell by looking who's the daddy, unless you're looking down at the genetic level. I've been in court thousands of times in paternity suits, and 4 out of 5 times, guy says he ain't the daddy, he's right. And the genetic test is the only way to prove it for sure. These women are hopping everything that looks fun. You thought you liked sex. You ain't nothing.
However, there is some good news in this whole scenario. There is some good news. The good news is this. The same system that has been damning men for, these child support stuff, even though sometimes it has been proven that it has been fraudulent, but the fact that your name's already on the birth certificate, they still tell you, they still obligated you to pay.
Though the threat of jail is on hold, it is not over. Carnell Alexander still owes more than $30,000 to the state for a child that's not his, because the mom wrote his name down because she needed to name someone in order to get welfare benefits.
And I had to put him down as the father. That was the only way I can get the system.
Now,
I'm almost homeless. I'm almost in jail. I'm out of work. My money is being threatened to be taken.
Carnell isn't just worried about how this is impacting him. He says the law needs to be changed, so when this happens, as it often does, other men don't become dad by default.
We can be defaulted into being a father of a child that is not ours. I don't understand that law, but it is a law in place.
In Detroit, Kim Russell, 7 Action News.
Yeah, you would think that mother would have to pay that money back instead of him, who's not the father's
So
child.
then now, the fact that the same people that tend to condemn these men into their fate are now being taken advantage of by the same system which they encourage. It is then they will finally start doing something about it. It is then they will start finally probably pass some laws that will punish these fraudsters, these women who actually may know deep down that the baby ain't his, but yet they still manage to put this mother on child support because he was more financially stable, because he would make a better dad, because he doesn't, the baby daddy was a bum, the real baby daddy was a bum. So then it is fair for them, or they conjure in their mind, it is better for me to have this motherfucker as the child's father than to actually come up with the real truth. And that is scummy behavior, and I believe these brothers are supposed to be locked away, but that's another video, that's another subject. We'll touch on that later.
Memphis Representative Antonio Parkinson is sponsoring House Bill 2698 that would require DNA evidence proving paternity before a man signs a birth certificate for a child that may not be biologically his.
Has been turning a blind eye to this by allowing people to sign blindly without any proof of DNA association to this child, which is allowing people to be guilty, or in some cases, of paternity fraud. Which is
my whole point is this: the fact that these judges are now getting caught up in this whole system. Finally, they'll be able to make some changes that will finally benefit the peasants of society.
I mean, I stayed with her for the sake of the children and the grandchildren, now the great-grandchildren. But they ain't no kin of mine. Fuck 'em.
Let's say you. What do you guys think down below? If you find out when you know you old as hell and you find out them kids ain't yours, would you stay in that relationship, or you will tell this old hag to kick rocks? Let me know what you guys think down below. I'm your host, The Haitian. So share, like, comment, and subscribe. And I'm out of here. I'll see you guys later. Peace.
And when it comes to your old Elijah,
You are the father!
Michael, you are not the father.
If Jesus can't save these hoes, why are you trying? What make you think you greater than Jesus, nigga?